Sakamoto Days Part 2 continue on where we left off. We are death row inmates being broken out of prison and given the mission of hurting Sakamoto and his friends and family. Now, by the way that Part 1 ended and the beginning of Part 2, you would think that the death row inmates would play a big role on this later part of the season, but actually no, the death row inmates were taken care of rather quickly. Only like in 4 episodes they lasted. One of them even died off screen, and another one got the most idiotic redemption arc that I have ever seen. Oh, I have a terrible childhood, nobody understand me, I became a mass murderer. Oh, but Sakamoto, oh, I understand you, I will be here, I will become your friend, and that just suddenly make it all better. All those innocent people that he killed, he if he is supposed to go back to prison and suffer the consequences of his action. That is supposed to be his redemption mark, but no, he just allowed to go free. Oh, and I finally have a friend. Okay, I will. I think stop killing. I'm not even sure if he's still considered a murderer or not. If he's still going to continue killing people or not. It's all up in the air. It was never elaborated on. But even though that the death row inmates were not all that impressive in my opinion, it did give an excuse to give other characters a moment to shine, beginning with our main trio, Lou. Now Lou, in the first in part 1 of Sakamoto Days, she was only like the comedic relief with Sakamoto and Shin, both and not only them but other side characters like Yusuke. Many of them got a really fantastic animated moment to shine in part 1, but Lu, she got nothing. She was honestly only the comedic relief. She didn't contribute anything when it comes to the front lines fighting. But actually, in part those, she actually got a moment to shine. Finally, at least something. Now it was rather quickly. It didn't last that long, but at least she got her moment. It was very well animated. It shows her prowess when it comes to the whole drunken feast, but that was her one and only moment to shine, because throughout the rest of part 2 she disappeared completely. Not only her, but also other members of the JAA that we did not get a proper scale of their fighting prowess. We got more of their fighting techniques, especially with Usaragi. Usaragi, if you remember in part 1, she's the girl clothed from head to toe in black, and like I forgot what the name of the specific clothing is, but she's all in black, and my girl is built like a tank and hits like a freight train. She just have so much brute strength, and the way that not only when it comes to her fighting prowess, but we also got a little bit more of that dynamic, how different members of the JAA interact with one another. So it was not only Usaragi, but also Takamura. Takamura is, in case you don't know, the old guy who is super old, mumbles a little bit, but has the sword of a samurai. My dude, if you put a toe out of place, you will die instantly. One single small error in the battlefield will cost you your life if you make even the slightest mistake with that man as your opponent. My dude just has like he's like the atomic samurai version of Sakamoto Days, if that makes sense. So even though that just the whole death row inmates, some of them, well, the majority of them were disappointing, at least it gave a nice excuse for us to watch the JAA and Lu get a more moment to shine and more of a spotlight on them. Now those were only like the out of the 11 episodes, those were only the beginning 4 episodes. So what are the rest of the episodes about? Well, Sakamoto gets an intel about the person that put a bounty on his head. So in order to follow up on that intel, he has to infiltrate the JAA Academy. Well, he's already a graduate, so he's not allowed to go back there. So, but he, in order to infiltrate, he is enlisting as a rookie, as a beginner, a beginner hitman, with Shin by his side. Now Shin has take this moment to, well, not moment, opportunity, in order to better himself, not always being a burden to Sakamoto, not always being a follower, but actually improving on himself to stand by his side and also to surpass him. Now, throughout the exams that they have to take in order to enter the JAA Academy, I'm not going to spoil the different tests that they have to take, but let me just say, bodies flying, blood splattering everywhere, a careless sentiment towards human life. It was just all the way out there. Not as high quality as Hunter x Hunter, but entertaining nonetheless. And we got introduced to another colorful new characters that were hilarious. And let me just finish by saying that by the ending of part 2, if you love in part 1 the fight scene that took place on the train, that was just so over the top, comedic, cartoonish, but at the same time action packed. There is a scene by close to the ending of part 2 that invokes the same feeling that I have in that scene from part 1. It was again over the top, cartoonish, but action packed all over again, and I love it. But instead of a train, it was a plane. So it was just awesome, and I cannot wait for when we have a continuation to this story. So I think I'm going to end it here and give you my score. Now, I am going to give part 2 of Sakamoto Days an 8 out of 10. Even though that I did mostly enjoy it the same way that I enjoyed part 1, like I said before, the whole death row inmates were a little bit of a disappointment towards me. The only reason that I even gave it an 8 is because, like I said, the JAA, Lu, Shin, and Sakamoto were still so well executed, with not only with the writing, the action, but the progression. Everything was, at least from my humble opinion. And I think I'm going to finish here. So I'm just going to say that have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from. See you next video.